Hello, good evening. Welcome in, you guys, to another One Piece video. The spoilers for chapter 1160 have dropped. If you have not read them yet, please feel free to do so down below. It's going to be the pinned comment. It's going to be linked over to Pew Piece's tweet and typed out word for word down there. So, getting right into it, guys, I'm not even going to lie, I am confused. The first bullet point of this chapter says that the Davy clan are all Buccaneers. And with that reveal, my jaw dropped to the floor in pure confusion. The reason why is because I look at God Valley. You know, I look at all the background characters, the civilians being hunted, and I'm like, yo, none of them look like Buccaneers. And then last chapter, we had the whole thing where they're like, oh yeah, alongside a special Buccaneer boy, Kuma, we got the Davy clan! And it's like, wait a minute. Why did they draw that line in the sand between the two if they're just one and the same? I'm lost. I feel like this is one of the few times where I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything about this. I'm just gonna wait for the full spoilers because I don't know where to go with it. All right, and with this, I think it does open up the door for Blackbeard to be a true and blue Buccaneer, which was a very popular theory back on Agate Island. Right when we heard that Kuma was a Buccaneer, people were like, oh, let's look at all the other male characters in One Piece that have big bodies. Maybe they're Buccaneers too. People immediately went to Blackbeard, and they also went to Whitebeard, you know, just two big burly guys. And I was never on that boat. You know, I was like, okay, like, yeah, they got big bodies, but Kuma's just so different, right? Kuma's more rotund, he's like a Dorito. But lo and behold, Blackbeard might be a Buccaneer. And I say might just because I want to wait for the full spoilers. But yeah, the Davy clan are Buccaneers. And another thing that's odd about this is just like Blackbeard's body, right? Blackbeard's body has been described as odd by Marco the Phoenix. According to Buggy, this guy's never slept a day in his life. And then, of course, he ate 2 devil fruits. Beforehand, that was something that we started to attribute to the Davy clan. But now that the Davy clan are recognized as Buccaneers, it's like, wait a minute, like, could Kuma have done this? You know, can Kuma eat 2 devil fruits? Does he have a odd constitution? Does Kuma sleep? I have no clue, sports fans. You know, like, it's one of those things, like I said, I'm gonna reserve all my judgment and theory crafting until tomorrow. Because I feel like when we get the full spoilers, we'll know more about what they actually mean by this. But if you guys have any ideas you want to drop today, feel free to do so. Like, one idea I just had is that maybe the Buccaneers are kind of like the giants in the Ancient Giants, where all the giants have ancient giant blood, but not every giant has the ancient giant horns and are as big as ancient giants because the bloodline is getting diluted as time goes on. Maybe Kuma just had more potent Buccaneer blood, whereas the Davy clan are a lot more subtle in that regard. So, after the Buccaneer reveal, we see that Monkey D. Dragon has debuted. He shoots a celestial dragon that was about to kill Kuma. Kuma's guardian angel, right? Coming into play here. And what's funny about this is that I'm assuming that the celestial dragons don't know who did it. And I'm assuming that Kuma also had no clue who saved him. Because, you know, going back to the Kuma flashback, one of the first things Kuma said when he saw Dragon in the newspaper was, oh, wow, this guy's awesome. I wish I could meet him someday. So I don't think we're going to get a one-to-one Dragon-Kuma interaction here on this island, but it is just nice knowing that back in the past, Dragon was Kuma's guardian angel. And then as far as the Celestial Dragon, the reason I think that they don't see that Dragon is the one who shot them is simply because Dragon would potentially get executed if anybody knows what he did here, right? Shooting a Celestial Dragon, dude, that is a crime that gets an admiral sent your way. Dragon is a cadet. There's no way he would stand a chance against a powerhouse like that. Maybe Garp protects him. Maybe that's when Garp steps in. But I'm kind of just leaning towards the thought that nobody saw. Like, Dragon's hiding behind a tree. Boom, boom, boom. Great marksmanship. And then it just kind of moves on. I do wonder if he shot a tranquilizer dart or if he actually killed the Celestial Dragon with a real bullet. I'm leaning towards tranquilizers because Dragon, you know, he doesn't like killing people in general. I do wonder, actually. Dragon being a revolutionary today, would he ever kill a Celestial Dragon? Or is he more on the boat of just subduing them and arresting them? Because, going over to Kuma's flashback again, King Bakori, right? Dragon stepped into the throne room, he overthrew Bakori, but he didn't kill King Bakori, despite how corrupted he actually was. So I do want to pass that question on to you guys. By the end of the story, will Dragon kill the Celestial Dragons, or will he simply strip away their status? I'm kind of leaning towards the latter, but yes, Dragon saves the young Kuma, and we go on and we see all of the Holy Knights. It's that time, you guys. It is that time. We're finally getting revealed to the bad guys of the final saga. I'm excited, bro. I think the designs for Summers, for Gonko, Shamrock, Killingham, they've been fire so far. Oda has gone 4 for 4 with those dudes. And then 5 for 5 if you include Garling. So yes, I have high expectations for all the rest of the God Knights here, and we only get a description of one of them in the brief spoilers, and apparently the one we hear about looks like a Yeti with horns, dude! You might be wondering, Sai, why are you so excited about a Yeti? I don't even like Yetis that much. Actually, that's a lie. I like Yetis. Yeah, I like Yetis. The reason I'm so excited is because, a long time ago, this isn't like a flex per se, but a long time ago, I had an idea that a lot of the Holy Knights were cryptids or OG mythical monsters, and I did throw up a Yeti as one of my picks. I was like, yo, give us a Yeti, Bigfoot, Sasquatch kind of guy. I would love that. And here we have it. We got a freaking Yeti. Do I think that they are a real Yeti? No. You gotta remember, dude, the Celestial Dragons, they are the most racist people on this planet. So I highly doubt they let an actual Yeti walk around with that rank. So I do just kind of lean towards it being a Devil Fruit transformation. Kind of like Killingham, right? Here in Elbath, Killingham showed up as a mythical dragon. So I think it's just the same thing. And plus, they are in the middle of killing people, right? So yeah, transforming into a Yeti, I think that's just your best bet at getting the highest number in the rabbit hunting tournament. So as far as this goes, I am looking forward to seeing their last names. I feel like that's the main thing I'm kind of hung up on right now. It's like, okay, the God Knights, design-wise, leaving that in Oda's hands. I'm not worried about the designs. I think they're going to be fire. But now for the family names, that is what I'm most looking forward to, because I think we could get repeat names. Like imagine a Nasujiro son or nephew or niece. Another Wano-looking samurai for Zoro to fight in the future, or somebody else to fight. And then we could get another Figarland for all we know. We could even get another Don Quixote. Bro, imagine how hard a Doflamingo cousin Holy Knight would go. And then, of course, we can't forget about the Norona family. Like, imagine Emu's disciple. Another Norona amongst the ranks. And if I had to throw one more family out there, this is gonna sound like a meme, but I'm completely serious. But imagine St. Charlos having somebody in his family who's actually powerful. Like, that's gotta be the case, right? Charlos is a loser. Sharia, she looks pretty decent, but she's a loser too, right? Roswell's a loser, but imagine there's just one guy there who shows up to the family dinner who is a Holy Knight and he mogs everybody else. I love that. Yeah, I think Oda is going to be in his bag with this. Also, when it comes to the Holy Knights and getting their last names revealed, I think that's going to be a big bump for world building reasons as well. Mainly because we have to remember, the world government started with 20 OG families. Bro, getting these names, we're starting to fill out that list more and more and more. So yeah, I'm hoping we do, as much as I want repeats, I hope we do also get original last names there too. And I hope we finally get to see what the Man Meyer girl is all about, because Oda's been hiding her face time and time again. So yeah, hopefully he gives us the full design of everybody. Hopefully he gives us the description of like what their powers are. Kind of like how when Shamrock and Gunko were first introduced, underneath Gunko it said, oh, user of the Arrow no Mi. And then we saw Sommers and it said Iba no Mi. And then Killingham had told us what he was too. Hopefully Oda doesn't hold any punches here. And I'm kind of, hoping for a double spread, man. I'm hoping for the double page spread of all these guys lined up. Kind of like the Akatsuki, or maybe like the Espada from Bleach where they're all sitting at the table. Like imagine we have a rabbit or a slave running away, and right when they think they're safe, boom! All of the Holy Knights have arrived. Ooh, that'll be sick. That'll be sick. The next thing we get after the Holy Knight reveal is, of course, redraws from chapter 1096, we see Garp, Roger, and the Rocks crew arriving at God Valley. The redraws are interesting. I do wonder if it's just going to be a one-to-one thing where they simply copy and paste the image, or now that we're getting the full God Valley here, I wonder if Oda will make any tweaks to those previous panels. Kind of like how we had the retcon with the 6 treasure chests versus 9 treasure chests in last chapter. Maybe Oda will do the same thing. Like now that we see Ganzui's face, or now that we know about Kyowo or all these other guys, Oda will draw them in the background, like Gilbastar, for example, right? Maybe Oda will give us a more in-depth drawing of all of them. Roger Pirates, I feel like it could just be the same. We didn't really get too many new revelations for Roger. Maybe they'll switch up the dialogue a little bit. Like they'll start dropping in Shaggy lines. I think that'd be kind of fun. And I think they could do that with the Rocks Pirates too, right? Now that we know that Shaggy is the main prize, maybe their dialogue gets more concise. Like, oh, instead of, is it here? Or, ooh, give us the treasure. It's like, oh, replace that with Shaggy, right? Keep it nice and simple. And then Garp redraw too. I'm not expecting too much from that. Unless he puts like emphasis on Bogart in the background. But, you know, Garp, he's just solo, man. He's just solo. But yes, now moving on to the end of the chapter, we see that Dragon does indeed go after Shanks and Shamrock. And it says he saves them. So, with that being the case, we know that things next chapter are going to go very wrong. Because only one of them ends up in a treasure chest on Roger's ship. And that's Shanks. So as far as Shamrock goes, you know, somebody's going to step in and stop Dragon. I'm assuming it's going to be Garling. It could even be all the Holy Knights. I think that would be cool too, right? Because Dragon, when he gave us the Holy Knight silhouettes during the Sabo Reverie flashback, it seems like he knew all of them. So I do think it would be really cool if Dragon had some sort of interaction with each and every one of them. But we'll see, right? Maybe that's a little bit too much for a young Monkey D. Dragon. And of course, you know, with Dragon saving them, I do wonder if we'll see the devil fruit he eats out of the chest too, or if that theory is going to get squashed. I'm kind of leaning towards that being the case though, right? You got devil fruits as prizes, Shanks goes into a box, Dragon eats the fruit, like it's the perfect switcheroo. It's too lined up to not happen, right? But yes, with that being said, shorter video today. You know, I just wanted to keep it nice, sweet, and concise. Let me know what you guys thought about this video down below. What do you think about the spoilers? And of course, I will see you guys tomorrow when the full spoilers drop and when we get more context about what the hell is going on. And of course, tomorrow with the full spoilers, we will learn about all of the Holy Knights, right? They're not going to hold back on that one. I'm ready for the first name, last name, and devil fruit, brother. But yes, until then, you guys take care. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.